and good evening. How are you doing out there on the internet? This is Vaughn, and this is the UN podcast. To me, this is the end of a nice little work weekend. Well, work week, I guess. Usually end my 5 days of work on talking about some pop culture stuff. So today we're going to get into some topics. First thing we're going to talk about is some Star Wars news. I know people aren't that interested in that, but it's still news. All right, so let's get into this. All right, share my screen. Here we go. All right. I didn't even know. No, I didn't even know that they were doing this, but for the 30th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, they decided to re-release, and apparently it's doing very good. So George Lucas's Star Wars Revenge of the Sith returns to theaters this weekend, and despite facing competition from, The Accountant 2 and Sinners, they may even reach the number one spot. Yeah, because I think both of those movies, I don't know how much legs either one has. So everyone who wanted to see them, I guess, probably went to go see them for the most part. So 20th anniversary release of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. It's amazing that it's been 20 years. Score box office upset this weekend. According to Deadline, the movie earned about 3.4 mil on Thursday. And with 20 million in pre-sales, it may open between 27 mil and 30 mil. Should it meet those expectations, then it would debut number one, topping Ben Affleck and John Bernthal's Accounting 2, which made 2.5 million yesterday. So when did this come out? This is 25th. Today is the 27th. So it's Thursday. It's a little too soon for full weekend estimates, but Sinners is holding up well and may earn north of 30 million. If so, then we'll likely take the top spot. However, even number two will be a huge win for Disney, seeing as this is just a re-release. Video game adaptations Until Dawn is eyeing 8 mil to 9 million start, and that makes sound low, but it only costs 15 mil to produce. Back to Revenge of the Sith, and that 3.4 million Thursday is the biggest ever for a re-release. At this rate, it stands a chance of being the biggest reissue of a modern era since The Lion King 3D made 30.2 mil in 2011, and that's 2011 dollars. It should also sell past Titanic's 17.3 mil and Avatar's 10.5. Hayden Christensen, meanwhile, appears to be having a blast promoting what many feel is the best Star Wars prequel. Yeah, for the most part. And for some fans, contended for the best Star Wars movies, period. I wouldn't say that, but okay. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith takes place years after the onset of the Clone Wars, when the noble Jedi Alliance led a massive clone army into a galaxy-wide battle against the Separatists. When the sinister Sith unveil, this is a synopsis of the story. Yeah, I mean, I like the story. Oh. Yo, what's up, dude? Oh, I think he's still getting. Let me take him out for now. I don't know. I agree with a lot of people who think that all three movies should have been based off around that. Or George Lucas had this weird thing where he would redo, like he told aspects of the lore in the first three movies, and then he decided to basically. Elton, you ready?
Yeah. Hello. Hi, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm talking about they re-released the
Revenge of the Sith.
You're right. And it may. Now they said it could make like 30 mil this weekend.
Yeah, I heard it was like a 25 million at last reporting.
Right. So you would think that it would let some of these companies know that maybe the stuff that you're making is not that people don't want to go to the movies, is that they just don't want to watch stuff that you're making.
Just maybe.
Right. So you would think that, that would sink in, but I don't think that it will. It's like it just dropped not Elden Ring. I don't know why I keep thinking Elden Ring. What's the name of this damn game? Damn it, I can't remember the
The
name.
Last of Us?
No, Elden. I cannot. It is driving me crazy. No, it's not Elden Ring. It's the. Man, I hate being old.
Not Elden Ring.
No, it's not Elden Ring. It is
Elder
Elder
Scrolls.
right.
Oh.
The re-release, they just kind of snuck it out, right?
Oh. Uh-huh.
And it's doing pretty good, even though it's like they just couldn't redo it. They had to change some stuff. They had to do the whole body type 1, body type 2 nonsense, which is just male and female. And I think they mess with the settings so that you can't actually make a voluptuous looking female.
Oh.
Yeah, once again, pissing off the 99 point whatever people to appeal to 0.0 whatever percent of people. Right. So there's one of the stories that we can get into about. All right. So if you play on PC, you can mod your games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like one of the earliest mods that I played was Max Payne, and somebody made a mod where it basically turned it into the Matrix. Because Max Payne has slow motion in it. So like when you run and you jump, you can slow down time and you can aim and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So they added kung fu elements to the game. So therefore, it turned a really, really good game into an excellent Matrix-y game that around the same time the Matrix came out. So yeah, kung fu, he was fighting kung fu. And so because they already had the elements of the slow motion in it, so you got all the bullet time stuff and all that. And that was just based off a mod.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So mods can be easy to find. Sometimes they can be hard to find. So there's this site called Nexus that kind of gathers the biggest ones together, right? But they got this problem where a lot of people who work for them are the kind of woke folks. So a lot of mods have, like, people will do mods to fix problems before the developer does. They'll do mods where it actually enhances the camera angles, frame rate, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So they had one for Spider-Man 2 where they put in a bunch of rainbow flags. So this mod basically changed those rainbow flags into American flag. Oh. People complain. The people complain, so therefore it took it down. All right, and they do that a lot. So it's like, instead of just giving you the choice of, you don't have to put this on your thing. So if you don't want something, and someone makes a change to it that allows you to get rid of that thing, the people who work there don't want you to give you that option to just not do the thing, right? It's like they always scream, like it's the same people who scream about how they're being erased or whatever. So it's like, no, you're not being erased. You're that annoying neighbor who everyone is trying to ignore, who for whatever reason refuses to let us ignore you. And then you turn around and you want to get all mad and like you're all offended because people don't want to acknowledge whatever it is that you're trying to get them to acknowledge. All right. And it's kind of how it works. But there is, and one of the articles that I tagged was something to deal with that. Because for Elder Scrolls, someone changed the body type 1, body type 2 to male and female. So if you want it, you can just put it in so it'll say male and female. And they initially banned it.
And they lost it. They lost their minds.
No, it is, but it's just the same thing. It's like, no, I'm telling you before, it's like the difference between when you talk about the L, like, the difference between the first two number letters and then basically everything else that follows it is the first two. It doesn't matter whether or not you believe or whatever you believe, right? But for whatever reason, the last group of people on that list, you have to believe whatever it is that, like, it is dependent on everyone around them believing whatever it is that they're believing. There's like a new thing they call themselves MASC. That's basically masculine presenting or something. It's like this weird thing where it's like, because they seem to be looking for attention. That seems to be what it is. So if whatever group that is created gets either starting to get ignored or is getting too many people doing it, they keep coming up with newer ones. Yeah, that's why the whole alphabet thing is like, bro, it's like you just creating more letters. I think you've used every letter in the alphabet at this point. All right. Oh, Nexus, yeah. It is. It is basically how that seems to go. Nexus Mods quietly reverses course on male-female mod for Oblivion remaster. Is Nexus actually leaving the culture war behind? If they have any sense, they would, because there are other sites that can gather these mods. Issued a community notice that appears to mark a quiet reversal on the controversial Oblivion remaster mod that restored traditional male and female options to the game's character creator. They already changed. They changed the character creator where you cannot actually make a pleasantly looking female, with curves and whatnot. So I doubt that this mod can change that. So maybe it just changes the body type 1 and body type 2 to male and female, which you would think was like shouldn't be an actual issue, because again, you don't have to download it because this is basically a single player game. So while the platform claims that the mod did not violate our community guidelines, it's also confirmed that the original upload was removed due to the uploader's behavior, not the mod's content. All right. Promoting game industry voice Grums, Mark Kern, formerly a Warcraft team lead, was quick to call the platform out for what he sees as a retreat. He says, "We're winning. Nexus Mods folds at Nexus sites and allows male-female mods for Oblivion remaster." And they try to claim that the mod was never banned for the mod was never claimed for the mod, but for the behavior of the mod maker. But they banned other MF male to female mods before. It's a win, gamers. Okay, he added Nexus Mods into culture war on their site. Nexus Mods explanation of the reversal of male-female signals a withdrawal from the culture war. They are walking a thin line here, trying to appease the activists. We recognize that mods like this can bring sensitive discussions. Okay. I share this tab. Bring sensitive discussion around gender and identity to the forefront, but then they back off. Our platform exists to support creative expression and modding, not to serve as a battleground for broader cultural and political debates. If you prefer not to see this content, we encourage you to make use of the content blocking tools that is as it should be. Don't politically censor mod and let the perpetually offended us use the block button. Let's see how this new policy acts going forward. Okay. Despite saying they support creative expression, Nexus also reiterated that re-uploads and derivative content meant to circumvent this policy will be removed. A stance that appears to contradict their free expression language. All right. So I don't know if this is a win or not for this. I do know is I heard like a lot of discussions today. All right. One of the words I heard about is it was Candace Owens was on the Tim Allen podcast, and they were talking about like people who know want to say anti-Semitism, right? Like that word and a bunch of other words have been used so much that they have lost all meaning, and it doesn't hit like it used to. You know, like racist and sexist and misogynist and blah 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 blah.
Fascist.
It just basically means that I don't like what you're saying, so I'm gonna call you this name that used to mean something, but we have pushed it into the ground so much that it doesn't mean anything, which sucks.
Right. It's like overused, and yeah, it's lost its meaning, huh?
Right. So I don't understand anybody who owns a business and decides that I am going to pick a side in the culture war. It's like really silly. It's like the lead dude in Andor season 2 decides right before the show comes out, he goes on either Jimmy Kimmel or one of them late night talk shows that nobody watches, and he asks him about something about the Force, and the guy mentioned something about how you get to use like something like who gets to use the Force kind of thing, and he implied that in a joke that it depended on who you voted for. And it's like, bro, your show is the first season nobody watched. Star Wars is in the crapper right now, and you decide to go on, even though not as many people will watch you on this show, but someone will clip it and put it on X so everybody will see that clip. And you're basically calling half the people who could watch your show, basically calling them Sith Lords or whatever. You may not mean it that way, but that's how it's going to come across.
Right.
And we're past the point of people tolerating that. Period. Like any whiff of anything in that general territory, people will just tune you out. Even the ones who are kind of on your side in terms of most of what your politics are, they're just tired. It's like, dude, I just want to go like with the mods. I just want, if you're gonna do a database of all these mods, I just want to go to your site, pick the ones I like, and play. And play. That's it. I don't care. Your opinion on it doesn't matter. If in a single player game someone makes a mod where every woman is naked, I wouldn't want to add that to my game, but I'm not gonna knock somebody else because they want to do that. I might think it's weird, but that's them. It's a single player game. If they want to run around where everybody's naked, okay. Single player game.
Mod, yeah.
Your mod. Why are you into putting your opinion in this? In any capacity.
Eastern developers could never.
They're basically looking at Western developers like why are you doing any of this? Because they're doing it to like, was it one of them Dragon Quest? They did a remaster of the Dragon Quest game, and in that it's body type 1, body type 2. So like the person who made the original game is like why are you doing this? And given how much money the Revenge of the Sith is making, it just tell you people want to see, they want to be entertained. They don't care about what your goofy opinion on pretty much anything is.
Maybe that modder, he wanted to, create drama and watch like the house burn.
No,
figuratively.
I would like, while that is a possibility, I seriously doubt it, because they have banned stuff like that goes against whatever their grain is. So like I told you before about the guy changing the rainbow flags to American flags, they banned that. Like, bro, if I don't want downtown whatever be filled out, like, then that's my prerogative. If someone makes a mod where I can get rid of whatever I don't want to see, that's on me. It got nothing to do with you. This is a single player game. This is what I'm looking at. And it's one of the many things people are learning. It's like, bro, it's like the pronoun stuff. You cannot dictate what pronouns I'll use. Period. That's not how anything works. You can kick your feet and stomp and yell and scream and protest and walk around and do all whatever. And you're gonna go the way of body positive movement. The biggest proponents of that now are silent because you didn't change anything. Because you cannot change that kind of stuff. If you want to, the last thing you should be doing is demanding that of anybody. You can have a conversation where you explain why you feel like you feel, and then if the person agrees with you and you're an agreeable person in the conversation, they may say, all right, well, I don't necessarily agree, but I will use this whatever because it makes you feel better. Like most people will probably do that, but that's not the route that folks took.
That's true. So divisive, polarizing.
Yeah. So banning, you ban certain things, but you don't ban other things. People know this. Like most people don't notice stuff when it's first happened, but they notice it when it just gets to be kind of ridiculous.
That's true.
Nobody minded the girl boss until the girl boss was in every movie. Then once you put her in every movie, in every comic book, in every book, in every, I was like, when you put her in everything, people, I was like, oh, dude, I don't want to see the girl boss thing. So now comes on, she's snarky. They basically took Snarky. They had, like, Snarky has been around for a long time. You know, the little snarky friend? Now she's in the unsung.
Sure.
Yeah, that.
Snarky.
You know, like the sarcastic female in movies. You're
talking about like a personality trait.
Right, yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a specific.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That was a common. They always had like one snarky girl, like little kind of bossy, a little whatever. But it was just a particular thing, and you decided to take that and plaster that on every female in the movie,
like, and make her more annoying too.
Yeah, dude. Like I told you, I watched one episode of The Last of Us, and when he got to the point, I was like, why are there so many females everywhere in positions of powers and security things in the apocalypse future? I'm like, dude, this is not what would happen. It's period. It's so stupid. And then like apparently in the second game, there's like a whole subplot thing about kid ran away because of pronouns. I'm like, this takes place 20 years after the fall of everything in the 90s. Bush was president. So we talk in like 90s going into the early 2000s, 20 years ago. People want to talk about pronouns or whatever then. So if you're not talking about pronouns before the apocalypse, ain't nobody talking about this. Like, dude, everybody's trying to survive. Anything outside of your compound is filled with like monsters that will try to infect you and kill you.
The pronoun should be the least of your worries.
Bro, that is something that would even be on anybody's radar. So it was a lot of little stuff, and it's like, one, it was the city of Boston. They put a fence around it, and somehow FEMA is in charge of everything. I don't know how that works. And so right up against the fence, there's like buses and cars and all that stuff. Like you have a thing of rampaging monsters. Like one of the first thing you would do as you're building the wall that surround Boston is clear out large swaths of open space so you can see anybody coming. That's usually how, when you fort up, that's what you do. So you can get on the wall and then you can see for as far as possible, anything coming. So you can spot it, you can get to that wherever it's coming from and take care of it. You would not just let just rant. So just a lot of stuff that was just like bad writing. So I don't know that, but not in terms of you don't play computer games, do you?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay, so like the mod stuff, it's like you wouldn't, you don't really like. That's not something you would think about either way, right?
I mean, I played like really popular mods like on Warcraft 3, Dota and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because Dota was a mod of in Warcraft 3, which became its own game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So continuing on the even though we kind of branched off the Star Wars thing, Dave Filoni has some thoughts about Ahsoka 2. You ready to hear them?
Can't wait.
You sound so excited. All right. So Dave Filoni, here we go. Dave Filoni says he faced a lot of challenges to enact his vision for Ahsoka season 2. Like he looks like he's getting chubbier. All right. Lucasfilm chief creative officer and the creator of Ahsoka, Dave Filoni, revealed that he faced a lot of challenges in order to enact his vision for the second season of Ahsoka. Given how his vision for the first season of Ahsoka kind of sucked, this should be interesting. In an interview with Screen Rant at Star Wars Celebration in Japan, you know what? Remember how Star Wars Celebration used to be a big thing?
Mm-hmm.
Now you like there's information, but you gotta kind of have to go look for it. It's not like something that everyone is talking about.
Like the mass media, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's talking about it. Like nothing. ActiveView provided an update on the live action film. It was announced that he was working on back in April 2023. At the time of the film's announcement, Lucasfilm revealed it would focus on the New Republic and close out the interconnected stories told in The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and other Disney Plus series that no one watched. Filoni shared, I work with in very big arcs and timelines. I always have a lot of things planned, but I'm also always able to move things on that big board. So, Ahsoka season 2 was a plan that I had obviously off of season 1 if I got to continue. And I had an idea of where that went. And then a lot of things happened that were out of my control that made a lot of challenges to actually accomplish that. Being like the fact that it got terrible ratings. But I was able to accomplish it and I'm happy where it went. Only revealed until I fully understand season 2, I wouldn't understand how the movie should go. So all of these things kind of grew out of each other. As John is finishing his movie, I am tracking all the elements that they're coming together. John and I talk a lot about what's happening in the future, where we need to go. We also look down the road at what's ahead of all those things. It's already done, so it's coming together. There are a lot of things I debate about in certain ways. I want to give fans the greatest experience I can when I get to that point. So we'll have to see. Next, he shared that they are already at least 2 versions of the film concepted out. I have one idea I like very much that I could tell you in the opening, which I really like. So I get to do that. But there's a completely different version that involves nothing that I'm thinking of that would be equally as exciting. But I feel that one, I am running out of time to do. So one day I tell you what those 2 things are, maybe once I've chosen. When moviegoers might see the film, he was, oh gosh, I have to finish season 2 first. And then, all right, he's not actually saying anything. He's kind of talking, but he's not actually giving out any information.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to balance those things. My priorities, Kathy, and I talk all the time, and she and I are figuring out what should go and what goes next and what makes the most sense. All right. I oh, he ain't say shit. What the hell? What the hell was that? I got a bunch of ideas.
That's pretty much it.
Good for you, buddy. I hope so. Shit.
Can't wait to make season 2.
Dude. So he has a character that should have died as a teenager, which basically is what George Lucas wanted. He and Kathleen Kennedy have chosen to ignore 30 years of books that people actually enjoy, but take elements of these books and bastardize them so that they do not reflect the characters and locations that were in the books that people like. I truly do not understand what they're doing over there. It's like nobody watched like Andor season 2. Nobody watched it. Like nothing. No. The only buzz that they got because apparently there was a I don't know, you can't really say this on YouTube, but a assault of a sexual nature in the show. First for Star Wars. Yeah. Like this is Star Wars. And once again proves that none of you actually understand Star Wars. Like, don't really need that.
Yeah, that's a little. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was like that's on like people were who were talking about Andor season 2. That's what they were talking about because I guess apparently it just happened in an episode. It's like,
yeah, Star Wars doesn't need that.
No. Just once again, you have a proven history of things that the fan base loves. Just adapt them into a movie. I say this over and over again. People want to give you money, which is proven by the fact that you're making $30 million on a 20-year-old movie. People want to give you money. Let's let them give you money. I don't really understand why you don't want them to give you money.
For the future of Star Wars, do you think they need to try to just make a show with like good storytelling and good writing as opposed to, trying to keep it so much in the Star Wars universe? Like, do you think they just need a show with good writing and good story, even though it has very little to do with Star Wars, but it still has the Star Wars, name and license on it?
Dude, there are dozens of books in the extended universe that have it's bounty hunters and various other below like non-main character focused books. A lot of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you can tell
you can tell a good story out of something like that, huh?
Yeah. You already have the world created, so you don't have to do, and this what makes their failure so bad. The world building has already been done.
Right, yeah. That's what I guess what I'm asking too. So
yeah, so
yeah, just make a show with like good writing, huh? And good storytelling.
Yeah. But it's kind of like in the vein of like the Penguin. Okay. Penguin it's a mob show.
Yeah, it has little to do with
like Batman, like none of that. He just a mob show in Gotham.
That's true, and it turned out to be successful just because it has good writing.
Yeah, it was the Sopranos in the Batman universe. Yeah. That's basically what it was.
That's true. So if Star Wars could, do something similar, that might be better. Yeah. Rather than them trying to, I don't know what they're, what the future holds for them.
You get like some word of mouth on something, and then it builds on that, and then eventually it'll get to like, all right, you get a small group of people who like it. Boom. Then you make another one. Something good, well written. Boom. And then it builds and builds. It's like, okay, we can rest just the Skywalker universe type stuff and then just build upon this. And slowly but surely you can introduce things. Like, yeah. But they don't. Nobody who works there knows how to do any of that. So that's the problem with a lot of this stuff. Is they can't seem to figure out. Like they really don't understand. Like I saw a thing where they were saying, well, Hollywood doesn't understand why Minecraft worked. My godson loves Minecraft. He got a kick out of all the little inside jokes in the Minecraft movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. He likes Minecraft. They made a movie for the people who like Minecraft. It is not that difficult.
So make a movie for the Star Wars fans.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you do. You make us. You take a. You get us. Pick one of the small stories, in like already written. Make a screenplay about it. Beginning, middle, end. Doesn't tie into any damn thing else. It just happens, just like you said. It happens in the Star Wars universe. Smugglers, whatever it is. You can create your own character. Don't modernize it because Star Wars is not modern. Right? Star Wars is based off the attitudes of people from the 70s. That's kind of how it is.
Right.
Don't modernize it. Don't any sexuality at all doesn't matter. I don't care who you screwing. Like, don't care. Just do that. Give some person that you made up a mission. Have him go through the whole thing and complete the mission. That don't spend a lot of money. It doesn't need to be a TV show because nobody's watching Disney Plus. Put it out. Spend maybe $100 million on it. Doesn't have to be crazy with the special effects. You got that thing anyway. I forgot what it's called. So you already got that. So that cut down on the amount and tell a good story. You can make it just do like these DC did. It's the Sopranos in space. It's just Huts, extra zoom. You could do an extra zoom. So then you got an alien dude on Coruscant. How he got his to the position that he was in. Go from there. Then you can go right into Shadows of the Empire. So in Darth Vader, you got the Emperor. You got all that intrigue. It's really not that difficult.
Yeah, as you said, the world building is already there. They just have to, not put so much messaging in it and make sure to have a good storytelling and writing.
Right. It's like everyone know how Batman became like Batman, so I don't need to see that again. Everyone knows about Spider-Man. Everybody knows about the Fantastic Four and how they got their damn power. We've had three different movie series with that. We don't need to see them go up in space. So I'm glad that they decided to go that route for the Fantastic Four that's coming out because, like, bro, we know this is how they get. We know. So you start after, like, while they're doing whatever they're doing. It's just they make it so damn complicated. Really and truly, they make it so complicated where it really doesn't need to be. So I don't know. Hopefully, somebody hears what you're saying and does that. I doubt it, but anything's possible. All right. Well, we have some. Like Delroy Lindo he breaks his silence on Marvel's troubled Blade reboot. Another thing where it was slam dunk. I don't understand how you couldn't make I do understand why they couldn't make it work. I don't understand why they couldn't make it work, kind of thing. Because Sinners is basically a vampire movie where a dude kills a bunch of vampires.
Number one in the box office.
Right. So you telling me you can, and some from I heard on Nerdrotic or whatever, they're saying how part of the reason why they kept pushing it back amongst the other stuff was the fact that script was close to whatever they were trying to do because apparently they wanted to do something in the 1930s or whatever, where Blade was, I don't know, fighting vampire clansmen. I have no clue. So it was too close, so they decided to scrap that. Oh, all right. So Marvel's continuously delayed Blade reboot has been stuck in development limbo for years, and how one of its former stars is shedding light on why. Actor Delroy Lindo, who joined the project back in 2021, recently spoke about his experience and the behind-the-scenes troubles that ran deeper than scheduling or script rewrites. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, he described the project as just went off the rails. He explained in early conversations that when Marvel gave him the impression that the studio is eager for his creative input, especially on the character he was set to play, someone Lindo described as Marcus Garvey-esque figure. Okay. I'm not saying that it would have been an out and out Garvey-ite. Not that, just in terms of how this man's philosophy and ethos would be driving him. He was a character who had very similar to Sinners, created a community, a black community. He was a character who is the head of that community. It was real exciting conceptually, but is also exciting in terms of the character that was going to form. And then for whatever reason, it just went off the rails. Lindo's comments line up with what fans and industry watchers have just expected for months since his announcement in 2019. Dude, 6 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. The lyric starring Mahershala Ali is the titular daywalker, has hit nearly every creative roadblock imaginable. 2 directors, strikes, delays in exits. Along with these ongoing delays, adds to the growing list of complications surrounding Marvel's handling of Blade. For many, the film has become emblematic of the studio's growing pains as it shifts its focus to more diverse narratives within the MCU. However, these struggles may also signal a larger issue of balancing creative ambition and execution, a theme that has echoed through the multiple high-profile Marvel projects in recent years. Isn't moving a white flag. Okay, the character will be coming to the MCU. Yeah, he was supposed to be for the last 6 years. In the meantime, fans at least got a small consolation prize. Yeah, okay. There's only one Blade, he said in the character. Now, their biggest problem is I don't need to watch. Why does everything dealing with black people got to be in slavery or 1940s? Like, dude, they're long time ago. Just make
and I love the Blade movies.
Right, just make a movie of Mahershala Ali kicking vampires' ass. That's it. Stop trying to preach. I don't need to hurt old school black communities. I don't need none of that.
So the movie is delayed or canceled?
Don't know. Who knows?
It's in limbo.
Yeah, basically. It's like but I have no interest in that. I don't, dude, stop trying. Like, I don't need it to be set in. I don't know what it is with Hollywood and black people in the 1940s shit. Can we come into the 2025, please? Can we stop talking about stuff that happened 60 years ago? 60.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
The people born when all this stuff are senior citizens now. just so dude, I'm tired. I and so many other people just tired. Get it through your heads. The reason why Minecraft worked is because it just told a goofy story. Is it? Make a movie about him killing vampires. That's why the first 3 worked. Well, first 2. And then he kind of jumped off the rails in the 3rd one. But that's why the first 2 worked and why people loved the 2nd one. It's like, yeah, there was some racial humor in the 2nd one, but that didn't change anything about the damn story. Nothing. He was a vampire who happened to be black.
Not the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what people want. I don't know how many ways. It's like this can be proven over and over and over and over and over again. people are playing older stuff because the older stuff is just a game. It is not a podium for whatever freaking writer or whoever the hell was on this shit so that they can preach to everybody else of whatever their goofy ass viewpoint is that nobody cares about. And then they go, well, why is the studio going out of business? Because nobody wants to listen to you. Like, bro, catch the hint. Just vampire, Blade, kill vampire, beats Dracula or whoever the hell you got as the big bad. Movie over with. Should be an hour and a half. It shouldn't cost too much to do because one, you don't need that many damn special effects. Just need a really good fight coordinator and stunt guy, and teach Mahershala how to fight some kind of martial art. Pick one, show him how to look convincingly enough on a film so that it's an action movie. Doesn't need to be that deep a script. You know, like I liked Pacific Pacific Rim. It was stupid as hell.
Giant robots, boom.
Giant robots fighting giant monsters. Not that complicated. It's so goofy, but the 5-year-old me went yay every time something happened. It's just like, bro, I truly do not get I don't know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody at work, one of the residents, about it was political stuff, and it was how politicians in California can see something fail very badly for decades and still continue to do the same thing.
I'll vote for them again.
Right.
Third time.
Right. Not only will they continue to do it, they will double down, triple down, quadruple down on it, even though it's not working. And it's like when you're not of that viewpoint and you're sitting outside and you're looking at it, it's like, how much money do you have to lose? How many movies have to fail? How many record have to come out that nobody listens to? And all the tricks that you do to that used to work, where you basically make it so that there is no other option. Well, that don't work because there's all kind of options now that you have no control over, like YouTube. So people would just basically, it's like, I'm gonna ignore you. I don't need to see that. I don't need to buy that. I don't need to eat that. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I don't have to. And there is no way you can make me. So you could put all the slop out there and just throw it out there, and people will just ignore it. Because that's basically where we're at now. Everyone's just ignoring whatever nonsense that you put in out. It baffles my mind, to be honest. So, well, we have two more things to talk about. Did you hear what the Netflix CEO said about the movie theater system? I am curious as to what your opinion on that.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. Here we go. Netflix CEO says movie theater system is an outdated concept. Believe streamer is saving Hollywood.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Oh yeah, that is quite a statement. Ever the company's biggest cheerleader, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos believes that not only is the overall concept of the movie theater experience completely outdated, but that is the streaming giant's disruption of traditional release norms is actually saving the Hollywood industry. Sarandos, who served as Netflix chief content officer for slightly over 2 decades before being promoted to his current role in 2020, offered his bold self-progress report while speaking with Time Magazine editor-in-chief Sam Jacobs during a recent Time 100 gala and summit. Have you destroyed Hollywood? Jacob asked to open their time together per recaps of the discussion provided by the Hollywood Reporter. No, we're saving Hollywood. Offering his thoughts on just why Netflix currently thriving while the traditional studio system is struggling to survive. Netflix is a very consumer-focused company. We really do care that we deliver the programs to you in a way that you want to watch it. We really do care that we deliver the program to you in a way you can want. Okay. And it's a program that you love and desire, so we don't let a lot of outside forces get in the way of that. This end, he then pointed to the ongoing decline of global box office pools and asked, what does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they like to watch movies at home. Thank you. Studios and the theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience, just loving a movie. So he says that because it benefits him. So
yeah. Breaking news: his streaming service is better than going to the movie theater.
Yeah, we're in a period of transition. Folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a gigantic screen and have strangers watch them, and to have them play in the theater for 2 months and people cry and sold out shows is an outdated concept. Pressed by Jacobs as to whether he thought making movies for movie theaters for the communal experience was an outdated idea. I think it is for most people, not for everybody. If you're fortunate to live enough in Manhattan, you can walk to a multiplex and see a movie. That's fantastic. Most of the country cannot. What are you talking about, dude? Please get out of New York to ask. Closing out on his thoughts, particular part of the discussion. He acts like nobody in the middle of the country goes to see movies.
I know.
Bro, it's like, what are you talking about? That while ongoing implosion of theater models does not bother him, but what would bother me is if people stop making great movies. If we want people to watch them in a way that you want them to watch them, then people won't be able to make movies anymore because there won't be a business for it. All right, that was just silly. The reason people aren't going to the theaters is because all the movies are crap. They're preachy now.
And I think the tickets are so expensive nowadays.
And when we went to go see Minecraft, I think it costs over $100.
That's what I'm saying, for like 4 people, right?
It was 3 adults, 2 kids. Yeah. Bro,
that's kind of insane to like. So I get where he's coming from, that it could be like outdated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas if you watch movies at home, you have a more controlled experience. You're with the people that you want to be with. But at the same time, you know, you go to the movie theaters for the experience, for the giant screen, to be with other people, to remember that moment. But yeah, the price of it is insane.
Yeah. Well, and see, this is the thing that kills me is people forget that we are a communal people. It's like part of our issues right now is that because of cell phones and social media, we have this false sense of community that doesn't really exist, because part of it is seeing people's facial expressions when you talk to them and having shared background for conversations when you talk to people. It's like you don't get that on social media, and we're not better for that. So going to a theater with a bunch of people and laughing at something actually makes it's better overall for the human experience. So sitting in your house is not that. He's saying what he's saying, like I said before, is because it benefits him.
Yeah.
They make
breaking news. His own business model is better than what's out there.
Right. So it's like they make a lot of TV shows and movies. How many of them do people talk about? Huh? Not a lot. Not a lot of them. Every now and then you get one people talk about, but or a TV show that somebody talk about. For the most part, they don't talk about nothing. Netflix is just it's like Spotify. They don't create anything. It's just they buy stuff, they pay somebody else to make a thing, and then people talk about whatever that thing is for about 5 minutes. And it's not
onto the
right,
next
and then,
thing.
right, and then they go to the next thing, and it's like everything is cotton candy.
So like disposable.
Yeah, it's all disposable. Yeah. It's like it's not just one thing. It's the fact that the movies suck. It's the fact that you let a bunch of theater kids get in control of Hollywood, because Hollywood used to be controlled by business dudes. And whenever someone would come in with the goofy idea about stuff, they would look at them like they was crazy. Like, ain't nobody gonna want to do that. But no, we're not doing that. But somehow those people got pushed out, and now it's just run by the inmates are running the asylum kind of thing.
Like that quote.
Right. So basically that's what happened. And so yeah, you're benefiting from it, but in terms of overall quality of stuff, no, nobody's benefiting from this. It's crappy product. They put out crappy products too. Go on Netflix and how much of the new stuff did you kind of watch?
Exactly.
Right. So it's like they're putting out crap too.
Yeah.
So it's like that was he all up his own ass. And the whole nobody can walk to a multiplex. Bro, a lot of people who live in small towns go to the movies too. So it's like
I still remember I was a senior, junior in high school. Mm-hmm. And then like my fondest memories of Harry Potter was the last movie. Mm-hmm. So we're all like graduating, and we watched the midnight release of the last Harry Potter movie. Oh my God, that's like a core memory for my friends and I. And we're not even like the biggest Harry Potter fans. We like the movies and stuff, but we just remember going to the movie theater together. We were there with like all the other high schoolers were there watching it too. And then oh my gosh, like I still remember that. There were people who dressed up. People were clapping and laughing throughout the movie. And then, people got emotional since that was the last movie.
Yeah,
you don't have that experience like at home.
No.
Yeah.
So you can dress up. I guess you can dress up at your house. It'd be a little weird, but
oh, that's true. I guess you could dress up at home.
But the thing is though, like when the prequels came out, that first one it was a huge deal, dude. It's like people lining up all over the place. Everybody dressed up like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, and Princess Leia and all this other stuff. Yeah. It was like a whole thing. And that is what's missing from this particular generation, because they don't have experiences like that.
That's true, yeah.
Like sometimes you should wait for stuff. Sometimes everything should be so convenient, because then you appreciate it more. And you don't appreciate it if you just have unlimited access to all the stuff. Everything. So then, right. So basically you watch the first 5 minutes. If it doesn't hit all your whatever thing that you're looking for, you just move on to the next thing. That's not good. None of that is good. So I don't know. They got to do something.
Gratification culture.
Pretty much, yeah. And they don't know how to they're not gonna learn how to appreciate anything. Then they're not gonna learn. It's a lot of stuff that is just being lost. And so they write a lot of stuff about what's wrong with this particular generation. Only because they don't have none of that stuff. None of it. They don't have going outside and having to figure out how to entertain yourself when you're outside. Because your parents are not going to let you back in the house. All right. So you got to figure out how to, one, you have a sense of independence because you're kind of on your own outside. parents aren't really telling you what to do, and there's nobody structuring your play. So you come up with something. And we used to come up with all kind of stuff. It's like play with your GI Joes. Yeah, this dude I knew who lived in the front of the apartment complex I was living in. He was by the front part, and it had a lot of lilies in the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to a GI Joe, that's a jungle.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now you get your GI Joes, you go out in the front. Now I'm fighting Cobra in the jungle. Right. So it's like that's what they're missing. And so yeah, he wants everyone to stay home. He doesn't really care because he's probably older. He's been what in Netflix for 20 years. How much longer he gonna be in Netflix? Another 10 years? So when everything falls off the deep end, he ain't gonna give a shit. To be perfectly honest, he's not gonna care. So he cares about what's happening right now, regardless to how eventually that would affect everything. Because remember how people like a couple years ago, everyone talked about all the Korean stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are they talking about that now?
No.
Not really, no. Because it holds people's attention for so long, and they don't know how to maintain that so that it becomes a thing. Like you can do all these. You go back and look at these TV shows. It was on for a decade, 7 years, same characters, like different situations for the same character. But like MASH and the Lucille Ball show, Star Trek, all these shows stayed on for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Right? And kids on the show. Kids grew up on the show. You don't have anything like that anymore.
Yeah, they don't have anything to like resonate with or
Yeah, and that sucks, dude.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid also, like when Star Wars episode 2 and episode 3 came out. And then I remember when I was a kid, and then, I was excited to go to the movie theater and, watch it. Same thing with the Pokemon movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, those experiences and going to the movies. It's like, oh, it's really different than it is now.
All right. One of the things that I say to you a lot is people like to pretend that we as humans have changed. We have not. Going to the movies is like how it used to be going to the theater, and that was like how we used to sit around a campfire listening to tales. We used to sit around like the fire. Go back far enough, sit around a fire, listen to the elders of the village tell history and all this other stuff. All that is tied into the same thing. Communities sitting around listening to a story. That doesn't work in your house.
Yeah.
And like we have not evolved that far as being how our human nature is. So I don't know what this future is going to bring. Hopefully we'll have some kind of resurgence that will kind of swing everything back to something in some semblance of being how it used to be. And I know I'm old, so I sound like an old guy when I say stuff like that. Yeah. But there's one last thing we're going to talk about before we go is all right. Here we go. Game Pass. Currently, right now, I have thanks to Game Pass, I have there's a game that just came out, Claire Orange or something, Expedition 33, and The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Both of those are on Game Pass. And I bought another game. So I have like 4 games I can play right now. So this right here is a very excellent. So I spend like $19 a month for this. All right. So I get access to all the games that are on there, all my old games, all that's on my PC, and if I had an Xbox Series X, then I can play games on there, right?
Okay. Wow.
Right. No, yeah, it's for a certain price. So like Doom Dark Ages is coming out. So that's gonna be, especially like they bought so many studios, it is the value is actually great because you don't necessarily if you pay it off in a year or you pay monthly. There are some months where there's gonna be nothing to play, to be honest. But it is counterbalanced by the months where there's too much stuff. Seriously, like right now. Both I think people are saying they're getting an hour out of Expedition 33, and Elder Scrolls is like 100 hours out of, yeah, you can get like hundreds of hours out of these games. And like the Marvel, like Monster Hunter, that one's not on Game Pass, but so there's like so much stuff where there's not enough time in the day to play any of these things, but you have access to them for a certain amount of money. So it also benefits smaller games. Although there is a story that I'm probably going to talk about Wednesday, where this guy is complaining that when you do like to just drop a big game on like out, it kind of screws up for smaller games.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably going to be my Wednesday video because I'm gonna start doing that again, where the guy's kind of complaining about it. I don't know how many people are going to watch that, but I don't know. I thought that was interesting. All right, so things that look great for Xbox in the past few years, especially in terms of hardware. However, the company has emerged as an excellent publisher, especially with some of its recent releases. It provides great value with Game Pass. The thing about the hardware is, with more and more streaming and all this stuff, they kind of know the conceit of writing on the wall. More and more people are playing games on PC. I think I forgot, there was a game that just came out. I don't know if it was Monster Hunter or what it was, where more people played it on PC than played it on the consoles. Oh. Where it matters, when most AAA Xbox releases launching day one on Game Pass and other notable titles already present, the service has been excellent for gamers. Okay, I don't know what this is. The value of Game Pass is credible. Really happy to see Xbox finally get it together. It only took 11 years. I honestly don't understand how someone wouldn't sub the Game Pass. They're like, was it? I think they said it was 30 million people are on it or whatever. I think about 30 million people spending on average is like somewhere between 14 and 19 bucks a month.
No.
That is insane. Every month you get like this huge chunk of money. Okay, credit when it's due because most of the different had periods of being lackluster in the last few years. Glad to see something all right here. All right, just 4 months into 2025, Game Pass has already delivered some great titles. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is a remake or a remaster of an older game. Adam Fob, which I heard was pretty good. Avowed, which was not that great. Sniper Elite Resistance. Okay. Elder Scrolls, and these are the two games I'm talking about that I have to play right now. So you got Dark Ages, Outer Worlds, Ninja Gaiden 4, and more. Also added other hits as Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, Diablo. Oh, okay. For context, the Game Pass Ultimate subscription costs $14.99 a month. If you purchase the yearly plan, you would pay approximately $240. Modern AAA titles are typically cost $70. So considering the number of AAA titles including the service, it's an excellent deal. Compared to PlayStation Network, the Xbox services come on top. As the former has had very underwhelming catalog this year. Yeah, I recently just canceled my PlayStation Network because the only person I was playing online games with is my homeboy, and he got into PC games, so he barely
he's off of that, yeah.
Right, so he barely plays anything on his PlayStation anymore. So it's like I'm just paying Sony money for no reason because it's mostly for the online stuff. I just use my PlayStation to watch Netflix. Well, not Netflix, but YouTube. So yeah, this is not a long article, but yeah, it is in terms of like value for it is great, you know. And even though I don't like it, and there is there was another article I saw that came out a while back about how people are starting to get back into physical copies, even though it's getting harder and harder to do that. They got like stuff that come out where they didn't put it out on a physical copy, so you can't even get it that way.
No.
Well, I mean, like, the thing that I always think of when I talk to people about this kind of stuff is you do not look at it from the approach of someone like your age thinking about it. It's always about what some 10 to 15-year-old thinks, because that's how the world is going to eventually turn into.
Oh, yeah.
It's about what they're used to. It's not about like or dislike or whatever. It's just about what they're used to. So if you want to change it so that people get more into physical copies, make sure that your children understand the value of physical copies and how when you go just digital, you don't actually own anything. You're just paying for the lease to use the product. Whereas books or movies or music, any of that stuff, you don't actually own it unless you buy a physical copy.
Yeah.
And I don't think people they have trained people to not think that way. So it's like, if you want that to change, then you got to actually educate people on why you should want to actually purchase the thing physically that you want to get. You go buy the book. Yes, it takes up space, but you want to go buy the book, because if you buy the book, they can't come and change the book later. They also can't decide that they don't have the rights to this book no more and take it off of your reading device. So it's like, you can change the world. You just got to start with just your little circle. So, all right. We've been at this for about an hour and 12 minutes. So you got any words before we go?
Stay safe and have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
Those are my words.
And with those words of wisdom, I would like to say, hey, all right, later. It's been fun.
Night.
Nah.